Today is day 4 of the San Marino challenge, where we're taking La Fiorita to European glory. The closest we've come so far is the semi-finals of the Europa League. With the right additions in Season 10, we might be able to go one step further. So I did what anyone else would do in this situation. I raided Brazil. Tite becomes our new right back for a fee of £3.3 million, by far and away our most expensive signing. We've also strengthened between the sticks with Pedro Henrique for just £160,000, a real bargain. And then for more strength at the back line, we welcome Demba Diop, who will play at left wing back for us this season. So the squad is looking pretty good, especially as we renewed a few important contracts, including that of Pasilin, who weirdly wanted £10,000 per week less than he's currently earning. This season we start in the second Champions League qualifying round against IFK from Finland. But remember, I don't really want us to qualify for the Champions League because we're nowhere near good enough to win it. But as we have made the Europa League semi-finals before, I think if we don't put our first team out and instead rotate the lineup, we might qualify for the Europa or Conference League instead and have a better shot of winning those competitions to complete the challenge. I'm not trying to throw games, I'm just giving our backups a chance to shine. My plan almost worked. Despite taking the lead with a spectacular goal, we lost the first leg 2-1 in Finland, so we're on track to drop into the Europa League. But frustratingly, in the 95th minute of the second leg, we scored to make it 2-2 on aggregate, taking the game to penalties, where our goalkeeper Colombo turned into prime Buffon as he saved 2 penalties and saw one go wide of the mark for the easiest penalty shootout win imaginable. Obviously I had to celebrate with the players on the pitch, but inside I was seething. But Croatian side Rijeka should be too good for our backups. But things didn't get off to a great start as Ben Bremer scored in the 9th minute and Polako doubled our lead just before the half-hour mark. But thankfully Rijeka scored a few minutes later and our new signing Demba Diop not only gave away a penalty but was also sent off, which allowed them to draw the first leg in San Marino. But annoyingly, we were super up for it in Croatia, as Ben Bremer scored first. But thankfully, the Croatians scored twice before half-time to take the lead on the night and on aggregate. But they capitulated in the second half, and we scored twice before the hour mark to retake the lead. So I was very happy when they scored another to make it 5-5 on aggregate. But in extra time, Pasili decided he was going to win us the match with a superb goal. So we advanced to the final Champions League qualifying round to take on FC Copenhagen. Lose this and we drop into the Europa League phase. But win it and we go to the Champions League. But once again, Ben Bremer found the back of the net to give us the lead. Thankfully though, the Danes scored early in the second half. But Ben Bremer persisted and scored a winner on the night. So I was praying for a loss in Denmark, but a 0-0 draw means that somehow our backup players have carried us to the Champions League. I am devastated. But I guess it's my own fault. Ever since I bought the team sleep mask to help with their rest and recovery, they've been playing on another level. It all started when Man to Sleep sent me their Sleep Mask Pro to try out. And it's really good, I literally cannot see anything right now. As you know, I'm a massive gym lad, so rest and recovery is important to me. And Man to Sleep's aim is to help optimize sleep so you can live a more energetic life. It's got this super premium feel to it, it's really lightweight, and because of these C-shaped cups on it that go around your eye sockets, there's no pressure on your eyelids or lashes. Obviously, it takes a night or two for you to kind of get used to sleeping with something on your face, but after that, within 10 minutes or so, I kind of forget it's even there. I've personally found it's really helped me in the early mornings where the 5 AM sunrise at the moment tends to start disrupting my sleep. But because the mask keeps things pitch black, I'm not disturbed. And the initial results from using the mask for the past week or so is an increase in how much REM sleep I'm getting, which plays an important role in energizing your mind and body. So I am really pleased with these results and I'm quite excited to see how this is going to change long term for me. And I am delighted to say that Mandasleep are sponsoring this video. So if you visit their website via the link in the top line of the description, you can check out all their products and you get 10% off your order. I think we could get results against Anderlecht, Salzburg and Young Boys, which might give us a shot of making the Champions League knockout stages. And we were able to beat Anderlecht at home 2-1, thanks to goals from Jack Ford and Polico. We then thrashed Young Boys 3-0 away from home, thanks to Ben Bremer. But Salzburg managed to batter us 3-0, which was a real down point of the tournament. However, Alberto Ferrari scored in the 93rd minute against Marseille to beat the French 2-1. We also drew 3-3 with Spurs to pick up 10 points in total, which was just enough for us to qualify for the knockout playoff round by the skin of our teeth. But Dortmund might be the end of the road for us this season in Europe. We were playing some neat passing on the edge of the attacking third and eventually got the ball out wide to Ferrari, whose incredible dribbling gave him the space to shoot, but his shot was well over. At half-time, it was a very even game. But 20 seconds into the second half, Dortmund were racing forward, and they could have scored if it wasn't for a solid save from Pedro Henrique. And that allowed us to moments later go up the other end of the pitch, find across to Ferrari, whose left-footed effort found the back of the net. But less than 90 seconds later, Dortmund scored a bit of a wonder goal from distance to level things back up. Both sides were creating chances to try and get an advantage heading into the second leg, but neither could find the perfect strike. Until the 87th minute, when we kept putting balls into the middle and Dortmund couldn't quite deal with them, which meant Pasili had time and space to hit a shot with all he's got and have it bounce off the keeper to give us victory on the night. We will need to be perfect in Germany if we want to stand a chance of reaching the round of 16. But it was clear from the off that Dortmund meant business. And they didn't ease off. Every time we made a tackle, they were the first to the ball. And were able to frustrate us by keeping hold of possession, which eventually led to a ball into the box and a goal. Things boiled over when Diop brought down his man in the penalty area and the VAR decided a penalty would be given. But Pedro Henrique made a huge save to keep the scores level on aggregate. But this didn't inspire us to take the front foot in the game, as before half-time, Dortmund split our defence and scored a second on the night. And then a third, meaning we have an absolute mountain to climb in the second half. But 75 minutes into the game, substitute Polico was brought down in the penalty area, and now we have a chance from the spot. And it was another substitute, Casady, who put it past the keeper. We now need one more to go to extra time. And in the 90th minute, we were racing down the far side of the pitch. Celso Young's shot was blocked, but it fell into the path of Lafont, who scored to take us to extra time. Now we're in the ascendancy and momentum is with us. But that didn't stop Dortmund from coming agonisingly close on multiple occasions in the first period. The closest either side got though was right at the start of the second period, where Polico's cross was deflected against the post by a Dortmund defender. But our hearts were broken in the 113th minute, when Dortmund found a perfect ball through to Moukoko, who was just onside and gave the Yellows the lead. But our hearts were mended moments later, when Casady recycled a cleared corner, found Lafont, who scored the goal to take us to penalties. Casady was up first and scored, but sadly so did Moukoko. Celso Young put his spot kick away, and Pedro Henrique made a huge save to stop Gio Reyna. Ben Slimani's powerful effort hit the back of the net, and Nusa's gentle Panenka also went in. But then Adama's penalty was saved, meaning Dortmund got back on level terms. So thankfully Ocon scored to give us a chance to win, but Roll scored to take us to sudden death. Our hero of the night, Lafont, was never going to miss, which piled the pressure back on Dortmund, and they couldn't take it. We win on penalties to make the round of 16. Chelsea, though, might be impossible to beat, especially when we give the ball away to Florian Wirtz so easily. But Celso Young scored not long after to level things up and draw the first leg. But at Stamford Bridge, the Blues were too strong, as they absolutely dominated us and scored 3 goals to knock us out of the Champions League. But that is the furthest we've ever gone in the Champions League, and clearly we are a very good side. I can't see us winning the Champions League anytime soon, but if we can just drop into the Europa League or Conference League, I think we have a golden opportunity to win. So we brought in 4 new players, but just 2 of them would fit into the first team right now. Ricard Clotet is a giant at the back, and I hope he's going to be lethal from corners. Roberto Barbera, on the other hand, looks like an upgrade for Sarr on the left wing, as I have felt a little disappointed with how little Sarr's developed. Up first we have Cluj, where we won 3-1 in the first leg. I decided not to totally rotate our lineups this season, given how poorly, or I guess how well, that worked out for us last season. A 1-0 win in the second leg sees us through to the third qualifying round. But this time, despite playing a really strong side, Ljubljana beat us 2-0 in Slovenia, which puts us on the cusp of dropping into the Europa League. But then we fought back to win 3-0 in the second leg and make the final qualifying round against Dinamo Zagreb, who managed to draw with us 1-1 at our place. But they could have won if Pedro Henrique hadn't saved a late penalty. However, in Croatia, we couldn't get going, while Zagreb ran rings around us, scoring twice to win 2-0 and knock us down into the Europa League. This is exactly what I've been waiting for. I genuinely think we could win a majority of these games and make a good run in the knockout stages. But things went better than I could have imagined. We beat Lazio 2-0 at our place to start things off, before just about beating Rapid Vienna 2-1 at home. We then travelled to the Netherlands and beat PSV Eindhoven 2-0 in front of their own fans, before travelling to Sweden to beat Elfsborg 2-1 in another close encounter. The scoreline looks close as we beat Genk 1-0, but we had 29 shots to their 1 shot. But apparently we were saving up all the goals for the Rosenborg game, where we won 7-1 at home for win number 6 in the Europa League. Now we did draw with Ljubljana and lose 2-1 away at Schalke, but it doesn't matter because we topped the league phase table, surely making us favourites to lift the trophy at the end of the season. But to win it, we're going to have to get past Athletic Club in the round of 16. And immediately our high press was working wonders, as we won the ball, played it through to Ferrari, who scored, only to be fractionally offside and have it disallowed. But not to worry, as moments later, Tite brought the ball forward, put in a low cross, and Vivas legitimately gave us the lead of the game. Athletic Club did come back at us, but they weren't able to put the ball in the back of the net. But we could. This time Ferrari killed an effort past the keeper to double our lead heading into half time. And then 5 minutes into the second half, Tite got on the end of a corner to make it 3. The home side did eventually get a shot in the back of the net as Nico Williams scored in the 82nd minute. But we managed to restore the 3-goal lead as Diop's low cross somehow found the feet of Barbera, who scored his 19th of the season to win the first leg 4-1. A 1-1 draw in the second leg at home is enough for us to make the quarter-finals. Here we travel to Istanbul to take on Besiktas. And somehow, 2 minutes into the game, we couldn't take the lead as we hit the post and then totally missed the target. But the goal did eventually come, as Clotet got on the end of a corner to head us in front 25 minutes in. Just before half time, we were passing the ball around beautifully as we worked it forwards. A lovely sequence of touches then put Barbera through, who doubled our lead. But Besiktas replied immediately with a well-worked set-piece routine. And then 66 minutes in, after failing to properly clear a free kick, Besiktas' second goal came from distance to level things up. However, in the 92nd minute as Besiktas were pushing, we were able to feed a ball through to Barbera, who somehow missed. So it's all to play for in the second leg in San Marino. where we came out all guns blazing, as we scored 3 goals in the first 15 minutes of the game to look like we had an unassailable 5-2 aggregate lead. However, deep in the second half, Besiktas pulled one back. So luckily, we had to go and get ourselves another one to restore the 3-goal lead via IMPOSIBLE. But Besiktas refused to be beat and scored another in the 81st minute. But when we got our 5th of the night, the game was over. Once again, we've made it to the Europa League semi-final. But Lyon are going to be an incredibly tricky team to get the better of. 2 minutes in, we were advancing down the left-hand side of the pitch. After taking multiple deflections, somehow the ball didn't end up in the back of the net. But Lyon was saying the same thing at the other end of the pitch when Rayan Cherki could only hit the post from a point-blank range. And so we entered into a back-and-forth game where neither side could find the back of a net before the half-time whistle came. At least our shots are on target. Again, Lyon were pushing, but they couldn't get anything on target. But at least they had a highlight. We didn't have one in our favour until the 89th minute, when we nervously passed the ball between our defenders and eventually started to move it forward and centrally, feeding Ocon, who blazed his shot over the bar. So we just assumed the first leg would end as a draw. But in the 92nd minute, Ben Slimane's deep cross found the head of Kasady, who gave us the all-important victory at the very last moment. Now we just need to hold on to this win in Lyon, and we're going to the final. We came agonisingly close to taking the lead early on, as Ben Slimane's shot was only denied by the woodwork. But his pass to Vivas was great, and Vivas' pass was even better, putting through Ferrari, who kept his cool and slotted it past Alban Lafont. Pedro Henrique was also pulling off important saves to keep our 2-goal lead intact, but he couldn't hold out forever. Lyon pulled one back 30 minutes in, and then 7 minutes later our defence crumbled, allowing Lyon to score their 2nd of the night and make it 2-2 on aggregate. This time it was us who couldn't hit the target. But following an aggressive halftime team talk, our giant centre-back Clotet headed home from a corner to give us back the advantage. Once again, Pedro Henrique was making heroic saves to keep us in the lead as Lyon kept piling on the pressure, spurred on by the demand of the home crowd. But as they pushed forwards, it left gaps at the back for us to exploit. But once again, we were denied by the woodwork. And eventually, we just couldn't hold on. Lyon's pressure was too much as they scored a goal. But was it onside? The VAR says no, the goal is ruled out, and instead we win 3-2 on aggregate to reach the Europa League final. And we finished the Europa League this season exactly where we started it, against Lazio, who we beat in the opening fixture of the league phase 2-0. So as we head out onto the pitch of the newly built Marcel Desailly Stadium, if we win, we complete the San Marino challenge. 3 minutes in and Lazio looked to build out from the back, but they gave away possession to us and we raced forwards quickly, working the ball down the near side and forged a chance for Ben Slimane, who hit the crossbar. But Lazio didn't heed our early warnings, as we worked the ball into the penalty area and Vivas' clever turn gave him the space to open up the scoring. So we head into the halftime break, 1 goal to the good, and just about have the edge in the match stats. But to be comfortable, we need a 2nd goal. So as Barbera broke forward, the cross to Vivas was good, but the keeper made an important save. Substitute Lafont now had a chance to put a low cross into Vivas, but once again the Lazio keeper came out on top. And we were starting to get a little bit desperate when we couldn't trouble the keeper from a free kick. So with 8 minutes to go, I decided it was now time to start time wasting and lower the tempo to see the game out. But we were still pushing bodies forward looking for another goal in the 90th minute, when Lazio intercepted the ball and got on a fast counter-attack until Clotet decided to take out his man to stop the attack and collect a red card in the process. We might now be a man down, but that challenge might have just won us the Europa League title. So as the clock ticked down, we held our breath until the referee blew for full time, and we've won La Fiorita from San Marino the Europa League, completing the San Marino challenge. And to do it in 11 seasons is incredible. I thought it would take us at least 15. We have an awful lot to thank our hero Ricard Clotet for. But there's also the heroes that got us here along the way. From the attacking trio of Zampano, Olchese and Ambrosini in Season 1, and our early European heroes of Cacavo, Yoann and Peroni. Cuoco, Paleco and Caletta helped us go to the next level, and they walked so that Celso Young, Delmas and Casady could run. And then they made way for the current squad of legends who made the impossible possible and brought European glory to San Marino. So thank you for coming on the journey with me. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would love it if you could subscribe to the channel. And then give this video a watch, where I try to undo all the madness caused at Manchester United by Erik ten Hag and have 10 seasons to properly rebuild them and take them back to their former glory.